stanza e si vedono così, tutte e due hanno lo stesso backdrop e al massimo si guardano, ma
sì, perché se no sparite.
Diversi.
Però dà l'impressione di essere... Ah, ok.
Se no possiamo toglierlo.
Ma guarda, adesso è brutto.
Forse proviamo come dice Andrea.
Queste technicalities. Siamo live?
Siete live.
Okay, good day to everybody. I'm glad to be here today for this meeting about the Slow Food Coffee Coalition, hosted by the Global Social Business Summit, and thanks for that. My name is Emanuele Duguera. I work for Slow Food International, and I'm here as a coordinator of the Slow Food Coffee Coalition. Today with me is going to be a useful talk and an interesting talk about how to create open networks, and is going to be other two panelists, two experts, and then two friends. So let me introduce you first, Mario Cerutti, who is the Chief Institutional Relations and Sustainability Officer. Mario, how are you?
Thank you very much. Thank you for the presentation. Is everything fine? Thank you very much for inviting me. It's really a great pleasure to participate and to be here with you and of course Hans.
And Mario, where are you? Where are we?
We are in Torino, yes, in the Lavazza headquarters. Actually, we are in my office in a huge confusion, but fortunately, we did everything that you only see a very clean backdrop, which is, of course, our coalition, let's say, image, and of course, Emanuele and myself.
Thanks, Mario. And let me introduce you also Hans Reitz, CEO and co-founder of Grameen Creative Lab. Ciao, Hans, how are you?
Very good. We have now the fourth day of the Global Social Business Summit, and now we come to the best friend, and the best friend is coffee. So my best friend is coffee. Always delighted to talk with you about having this super culture more in focus.
Cool. So today we are talking about how to face and increase an open network, no? We are talking about a network focused on coffee. So let me just give you 2 minutes background, please. So the background is that coffee isn't just a drink, it's a plant. And that plant right now has two main difficulties to face. One is, guess what? The climate crisis. So we know that in 30 years, in 2050, if the climate crisis continue like that, we won't have the amount of land, we will be halved, referring to the amount of land that we have right now where the coffee is grown. So that means that we might not have the chance to drink all the coffee we're used to do so. And the other problem that plants has to face is huge gap from the world of consumption and the world of production and consumption. And that gap has been leading to a huge amount of lack of knowledge about coffee. We talk about coffee, but we barely know anything about that, even if we think we are. So for that reason, we as Slow Food and Lavazza decided to fund and launch in April this year this open network, call it the Slow Food Coffee Coalition. But to substitute my word, I would love to ask Maria to launch the video we have created, which is a funny and good video. Thanks.
Here at the Slow Food Coffee Coalition, together for good, clean and fair coffee is more than just our motto. And coffee is more than just a beverage to wake you up in the morning. We work to gain transparency across the whole supply chain, to trace each bean from the hands of the farmer all the way to the steaming mug on your countertop. By preserving our environment and focusing on biodiversity, you get to experience the real essence of coffee, the aromas, tastes and scents, but also the collaborative effort of everyone involved. So, why not come together to flip the script on how we talk about coffee? Let's create a conversation that everyone can be a part of. Let's educate all those who want to look beyond their coffee cup and learn about food security and good human and labour rights. Now that's what Together for Good, Clean and Fair Coffee means to us. What about you? Join us now.
Yes, join us. That's really the key word. Yes. Well, actually, one thing to remember is that coffee is most likely the first social network in the world. So already 500 years ago, 600 years ago, the first, let's say, socialization in the Arab countries, as well as in Venice, and the first cafeterias, well, you know, the all the time corresponded to today's social network, no? So that's also, I think, a very critical characteristic, as I was saying before, no? Coffee is really part of our daily experience.
Yes, coffee is uniting us in some way as food in general, but more coffee than others for sure. I just wanted to give you an example of how it could be collaborative, our network. For us, it was the first step. It was creating the Slow Food Coffee Coalition Manifesto. So it was written by persons, ones of the best of coffee experts in Italy and the world, farmers and slow food leaders from California, Central America, South America, Africa, Europe and Asia. And we have written the manifesto, and it is divided in three parts, let's say. One part is the general part. So it means that we want to unite all the players from the farmers to the consumer that has a common goal. A common goal is a good, clean and fair coffee for all. Then we have many, our belief, no? We know that we believe, for instance, in human and labor rights, in the preserving the biodiversity. And then there's a place that I really like it because it's something that the third part is an aspect, is a way to act. So it shows what are the roles and responsibility that each player has. For instance, I am a consumer, and here in the manifesto, it can shows that I have to be, I'm going to read it a bit. So I'm willing, I mean, I know that I want to learn more about coffee. I'm willing to pay a sustainable price for good, clean and fair coffee. I'm willing to demand more information. So for strengthening and for make it better this complex and long supply chain, we definitely need to have role and responsibility.
Yep.
And I wanted to ask you, to Mario, what is the role and responsibility for a player like Lavazza in the coffee chain, but also in our coffee coalition?
Yes. Oh, yes. Thank you very much for the question, Manuel. But first of all, we should say that the coffee coalition really represents a different way of doing business. That, I think, is one of the very important characteristics. Without making too broad and too complex, but I think that we all agree on the fact that there is some issues, some problems in the today, let's say, economic situation. So the Coffee Coalition is, in principle, one way to respond to the global coffee crisis that many of our models have. And so the coalition as a coalition is really based on putting together with different actors, different participants. And in this case, let's say, the coalition already show how our supply chain is complicated, because we start, of course, from the grower, and maybe even from the person that in a nursery was creating the small plants of coffee, up to the final consumer that is getting the beverage at home, or in a cafeteria, or in a restaurant. And the idea is really to link all the people involved, the traders, of course, slow food, really everybody, in an exchange of information, in exchange of know-how, in basically understanding that we have the interest to know more, to have additional information, but we also have the responsibility to give information to the other participants. So I think this is really the conceptual enormous advantage of an approach like the Coffee Coalition, which of course has been, let's say, one of the, let's say, creation of slow food. And when we were discussing how to put this in practice on the Lavazza side, we found it very, very, very interesting, and really a great pleasure, great honor to be able to participate with slow food in the initial phases of the rolling out of this approach, of this idea.
Thanks, Mario. And I wanted to give the same question more or less to Hans. So what could be the role or responsibility for Grameen Lab and such a business global summit on that aspect? What could be the role or responsibility? What do you think, Hans?
So first of all, the Grameen family and the Grameen spirit and the guidance of Professor Yunus to remind us this is a really extraordinary counterculture in the business world. So when Grameen Bank started, it was completely a way to do it opposite of everything what we know at this time about banking. So it means the banking goes to the rich, we went to the poor. The banking system went to the man, we went to the woman. So Grameen in himself is a counterculture. And as we all know, business, doesn't matter it's coffee business, doesn't matter it's automobile business, or some business runs us in this disaster where we are. So that's clear what we know today. So the system as we create behind the business system in the world, and mostly in the capital market orientated business, and the stock market orientated business, brought us to an end of the way to have a little bit space untouched in a paradise, in a natural behavior. We all, Mario, you, me, all who listen, will never ever experience an untouched place of nature. I just become a grandfather and I feel very sorry for my grandchildren. Because when I went to Italy, believe me, one thing is what I was looking for was coffee, and the second was the nature and how to reach to the nature where I can see I love the nature, and the beautiful places in Italy and all over Europe and all over the world was untouchable. That's over. So it's done. After 100,000 of years of civilization, after 40,000 years, after 12,000 years, high civilization, the high civilization make it happen. There's not a 0 square meter anymore left who is not touched. So 700 years of this, we do coffee after kaffa, after finding a small, beautiful plant who makes us all curious what's behind this. Oh, there's something really tough behind it. All the sheep who are eating it is so awake. So let's do something with this coffee plant. That was the Indian gurus who brought it to the West Ghats, and then they brought it to the world. And coffee is a culture of peace. And Grameen is a culture of peace. What we need is then the business culture. And this is where I'm very delighted to play with slow food. And to play means really to see how we can play to come out of this disaster. Coffee is a super culture of peace. Grameen family is a great role model of how to make peace between woman and man, and injustice and poor and rich and the poorest. So this is where we like to play a role together. Coffee is the biggest hope what I have to do the counterculture and find a new interface to nature.
Thanks, Hans. So we bring it's bring in peace. And it reminds me something that I really like to always to think about. It is also peace, and it is also trust. No, trust among the supply chain. For that reason, we are developing this system together, which is the PGS system. The PGS is the acronym for the Participatory Guarantee System. Now, basically, it's a way to see and to give recognition to the farmer. But it's different from the other certification. No? Normally, you can have a third-party certification, which is you have another third persons that comes to the finca and check everything out, and there's a fee for that, sometimes also high. We are developing that with iPhone, which is the one that have created the PGS system. We basically, what we do, we are training the community. We're training for free, so we're giving for free to them the training that if they want to. And among the community, it is chosen a little team that is going to check out all the steps, but is based in the community. That is why it's called certification on second level, because it's not on personal. There's not another one that controls you, but is among you. And I mean, we could delve into technical aspects, but we don't want to bother you too much. But the aspects that the good thing is that with two things is we know that there is no perfect certification that works 100%. But we prefer this one because it's based on the trust. It's based on the trust to the among the community, and then to the trader, and has to arrive that trust until the consumer. And also we believe that certification shouldn't be paid by the farmer. So that is why we give this training for free. And then we have this model. No, we have the model that we talk with the community. We give to them training, and if they like it, at the end we will have also a coffee that we are going to propose to the consumer as good, clean, and fair coffee under the banner of slow food. And all the process, it has to be written, and will be in our site. And we also have experts for around the world that is checking that, and we have the name of the experts. So we put the path of that. So it has to be clear. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be perfect, but to us, it's important that everything is clear. Perfect can arrive later, or maybe at the first stage, I don't know. But the clearness is the first step for us. And I just wanted to ask to Mario, what do you think about that new type of certification? Let's say.
Yes. Well, first of all, let me thanks and underline the great words that Hans was sharing with us, because it's really a source of inspiration and a source of, let's say, positive value. So that's I think it really is important to have it very clear. Back on the more technical issue of the participatory certification, there are a lot of elements. Maybe the starting point can be what we say, the organizational aspects, costing factors. And this is all true, no doubt. Those are the characteristics of the participatory. I'm sorry, it's very complex. PGS system, right? And yes, that is true. No question about. But it's also important to notice that the participatory aspects of this certification actually means trust. Actually means cooperation in a certain community. It also means to increase the knowledge of the group. So those are characteristics that are not, let's say, important, are not really part of the normal certification. So in a way, yes, there is also the possibility, conceptually speaking, that the two approaches at a certain point can merge. We can imagine that certain aspects can in a way be fused and to have the normal certification and the PGS that in a way get together. But PGS has something more really in terms of say philosophy of the approach. And again, I think, frankly speaking, I also think that it's good to start from the good part and then maybe to discover that it's not perfect and there are things to improve, rather than starting from the bad side, that nobody trusts anybody else, et cetera, and then you try to build some walls or some network nets of security and so on and so forth. So I think it's very important to try it. It's very important to really make it perfect, and nobody, I think, you, but also us and all our let's say colleagues participating in the configuration. Nobody should think that is a perfect system, but I think that everybody should believe in the capability that we all together can express in making work and also to solve any possible issues that is coming out.
Thanks, Mario. We say it, we've been saying we are not seeking the perfect, also because we are maybe humbled a bit, but the fact is that we know that the chain is too long, is too complex, that we don't want to point who is making error, or we don't want to show off who is almost perfect. We want to make it better for every step. We have the expertise to consult, to give examples, to make farmers, growers, makes the consumer make better choices. So that is why we're saying that is maybe cannot be perfect, because it's so huge and so complicated that we know that we have to act, we have to put light on some aspects. So that is why it is an improvement. So
yes.
I wanted to also ask Hans, what do you think about this participatory system or peer-to-peer or?
Absolutely. First of all, it's of course it's mind-blowing to talk with you and to talk with the Slow Food and the Lavazza family, together on one table, on one digital table where we sit today. So the main aspect, what I was thinking on the non-perfect and perfect, because how we could be perfect, the perfect things we have around. If you ever follow a flower of a coffee, the trees of the right permaculture to see how coffee is growing, if you see the nature, if you see the stuff, a rose is a rose because it's a rose and it's perfect. So we should be not perfect, we should be inspired by the perfections, what's around us, and that's nature, and that's how the nature designed it for us to have a humble and a good and a joyful life. So this is first of all about perfect, because my coffee business calls perfect day. And I think because it's about the perfect day, and this is always the most perfect day, is if I have it out in the nature, if I can enjoy it, if I can enjoy a good tree, if I can enjoy the fresh air, a winter season, a snow, a rain, whatever it is. Okay, that's basically for me in the way. In the business aspect and in the family aspect, the most important was to see about how we can make this peer-to-peer more happen. And of course, I'm dreaming what I'm always dreaming. First, the nature and the farmer, and the combination between the farmer and the first. So we created something now, it's called Circ 21. And I'm very clear and I'm happy to talk to you. We say 21, why? 7 euros for the farmer and the nature, first. 7 euros for the process and for the how we make the coffee, okay? because it's very important to make it good and make it great and have our passion and how to roast it and how to, this is a whole life of beautifulness to give our desire in something. And then 7 for the business. So for me, it's very clear, a slow food coffee could be never under 21 euro. For what the customer, the consumer should give us, then we can take care about the business, about the process, and about the farmer. And every one of us is taking care about the nature. Then, because this is clear, nature and the farmer, no coffee. Very clear, no business. So the coffee 21, it's good, and we can demonstrate, really demonstrate, after 3 decades, 1 ton of coffee, only 1 ton of coffee, can protect 1 square kilometer of diversity of nature. In India, and I invite you all to see it, we can see it. We also did it in Colombia. So I went in Caldas, in Manizales, they really transformed. In Brazil, we have now thousands and 10,000s of farmers to know how to do it because they love the nature. Coffee is only the cash crop, but they also need papayas, they need everything else to eat and have a domestic market. Coffee is the add-on business for the most of our farmers. It's not the core business, please. Is it to take care about the children and the schools and the staff and to grow mangoes and to have a 2nd and the 3rd and the 5th income? So 1 ton of coffee can protect 1 square kilometer of highest diversity life on the planet, and that can save all of us. And there is a big privilege, because what we not know in Germany or what we not know around the world, then Lavazza and all these companies are family companies. There is a Mr. Ferrero, there is a family Lavazza, there is a family Ferrari, there is a family always behind, good and bad. But in this way, the family power in the slow food movement and the family power out of Italy shares is more than your brand attitudes. It's the last 3 decades, you share a lot about Madame Prada's great collections or a family Zegna, but show then your family behind, and show the world there's a conscience behind these businesses. And that's a family, and Giuseppe and all the guys who do the business, they have to do it to know now it's not the time anymore crisis. We are in the biggest, most bold, catastrophic issues where we ever was been. I don't have a way out of the catastrophe alone, nobody has it, but together with the joy of Professor Yunus, with the guidelines of business, with the slow food, and somehow with the beautiness, what we all love in Italy. This is coffee culture, and this is the way coffee is making peace in the family, coffee is making big inspiration, coffee shows us the next level. So I think you have a key for us to open the gate out of the catastrophe. May you don't know it, but you have it.
Thanks, Hans. I think that we...
What do you
think, Mario?
No, well,
it's true. 3,800 employees. It's 3,800 families, mostly based in Italy. They will do everything for the mother, for the father, for the child, for the things. If we have the family really weave together and to understand the diagnosis, really the diagnosis where we are in. It's not a soft diagnosis at the moment. It's a heavy one. It's like you have to diagnose to have diabetic or on the body size to have cancer. It will be not an easy understanding where we are. But I totally believe on you guys in Italy and on the slow food movement, since I know it since decades. We admire you for your conscience on the moment. We admire you for the privilege on how to share a moment. But these families now, if they really take a lead, I try to give you everyone who I know in the coffee business, and I know quite a lot in Germany, to see how we can follow you, how we can be inspired with you, how we can take care. Because I believe we have the key, and that's coffee. This is a super culture. This is a culture from the moment on technology, on priority running, on front running, in sustainability, in circular economic. We have the business opportunity to really do it in a high, beautiful way, and bring us at least to the next level, to the first level out of a disaster.
No, you are very, very, very right, Hans. And well, it's also a great honor what you say. And in a way, I think that it's, and to make it more general, of course, because I should not talk about that, but that I think that in a way is really, let's say, the idea is that the persons are taking back some of the business area that have been totally destroyed by, certain things that maybe were not fully in the interest of humankind, in general. So anyway, and in coffee, you also touched this very, very important point of the future of coffee per se. We need the future. Coffee can actually be, and it was and still partially is, a fantastic way to bring success, to bring development, to bring wealth in many producing areas, but also on the other side to create a business, to create values, and as you say before, making almost a joke, it's a way to unite the people, to discuss, and again, just to remember, the Illuministic period where people were drinking coffee to be more bright in their thinking, incredible characteristics for this product. But of course, we have both from the social and environmental and economical point of view, and on the other side, with this enormous threat of the climate change effects, we have to really think about how to manage this catastrophe that is really coming. For example, there are forecasts that about 50% of the current area where the coffee is produced will no longer be suitable for coffee production in 20, 30 years. And so this is an incredible stuff. And in fact, as a matter of fact, I really like to recall the fact that just a few days ago we made some point in COP26 and in other occasion, really to sponsor the concept of deforestation-free coffee. It's not necessary today that coffee is responsible for even one tree only. It has been, of course, obviously, because now is the time to stop it. Now is the time to help the growers to grow in a better way with less input, so without damaging the environment. But there is the possibility for maybe 50 years, we should work on productivity to create a good coffee. And also another area. Imagine that out of 100%, if you make 100% of the coffee beans, only 2% is used, or even less, 1.5%, 2% is used to make a coffee. So we have a huge destruction of material. So also, in terms of regenerative agriculture, and I was just looking at the questions somebody was asking about sustainable agriculture. Those are issues that I also think that the coalition can be very strong and very instrumental in promoting, not only among us, but also and especially in the production area, to really show that there are other ways, that we don't need to cut trees to plant coffee. We should do different things. So just as an example of the values and the virtues that coffee can have, not only for us when we drink coffee, we like it, but also for the people that produce it, and not only from the, let's say, economical point of view.
Yeah, thanks, Mario. Sometimes I think we have to also change some aspects. For instance, I like also to see a producer as not like a producer, but a farmer. So it's
a farmer. Yeah. Good.
but also change a word can be important. So as you think over about coffee producers, we always think about just a producer, but it has to be a farmer that he has I don't know, other crops, fruits, bushes, others, biodiversity in their finca, or if it is in Latin America, or on the ground. But we have to call it farmer for that. We have to focus on farmers rather than, only producers. And that is, but us as a consumers, must take some step too. We don't like to call it consumer. We call it citizen sometimes. We haven't find a good word for the consumer that is not consumer. But anyway, we continue searching. Co-producer it was, but we have to know more about that. We have to know more about who the farmer are, and provide information to the citizens to better know that story about coffee.
Yes. No, it's very important. I think it's part of the duties and the responsibility that all of us have, and also for I think that. For the consumer, maybe we will launch a context to find the best.
Maybe.
Yeah, there is 1 kilo of coffee price for the best suggestion. but yes, also from their point of view, to start really knowing better a product, appreciating the characteristic of a product, and coffee is maybe not exactly as wine, but very close to, because there are hundreds of different tastes, hundreds of flavor of things that you can experience. That is really an incredible world that once it's open, it really will be part of the joy that everybody has, also to change, to have, to see the impact of different brewing system. There was a question, a very interesting question about the Scandinavian culture of coffee. The Scandinavian countries are well known for being the people that drink more coffee, and this is also due to the way they prepare the coffee, etc., etc. But for sure, it's a daily, let's say, habit along the whole day. While, for example, in Italy and in other countries, we go maybe more for, I don't know, 3-4 small shot, the espresso culture. So there are different ways, and this is part of the beauty, again, of the product, that is not only to drink the coffee in that way, but is a journey of finding different habits, and each of them, each of these way of drinking coffee has a completely different impact on the taste. So it's really a new experience. It's not at all the same. Even if we did many experiments, but this is, part of the culture. But if you take the same coffee and you roast it in different way, and you prepare it, you brew it in different way, you have a completely different products. Almost impossible to imagine that in some cases that are the same raw material, and so in principle they should be exactly the same. It's not, absolutely. So it's part of the experience, and the Coffee Coalition can be, again, a very, very important and interesting way to foster this knowledge.
Yes, thanks, Mario. That's super important. It also come to my mind that we have to be as much as easier as we can. We have to speak to the consumer in an easy way. We don't have to over-explain. Overload. Yes. For the beginning. So it's good to delve into things, know everything, but also to start, we don't have to push too forward to them, but give to the citizens, not to the consumers, some basic informations, and not asking them to recognize, at first step, flavors, for instance, which I am very used to, but I really like to, when I talk to other persons, to my friends, I always think to talk to them very little easy thing, and to let them passionate about that. Then you can become a super expert, or just find the coffee you like more. And also know there are different type of brewing, as Mario said, that in the Scandinavian country are more, but you have to know that it exists and maybe experiment it a little bit more. And as coffee is an experience,
Yeah. Maybe let me give you a story at the end of our session today, and also to come back. Of course, the coffee is a perfect thing. We not yet know how to play it in the benefit for all of us. And that's what we have to come in. And the real purpose of a company and of every company in the business should be having a great purpose. And the purpose is a great purpose if it's benefit everyone who is part of it, including the planetary system. So, and to give you the story at the end, what I was thinking, what's the dream and be inspired by Italy again, you know, we have a small forest in Italy, in Tuscany, close to Pisa. And this is a 300 years old forest. Some nice, crazy guy just protected for the hunting wild pigs, okay? Well, so it was more or less a full forest, and 300 years it is not touched. So you may know it. I was the first time there when I was in Tuscany, and I went to this forest and it was 300 years not touched. I was really amazed. So imagine, coffee is a tree, first of all. It belongs to the most important species of this planet. It's a tree, it's a coffee tree, it's a cherry tree, very delighted and very great to be a tree. Imagine with the coffee, we buy that's what I'm doing at the moment, I try to find the money to try every tree in the West Ghats in India, in South India, who is older than 200 years to be protected by the coffee trees. I promise the income of all my coffee trees for this one tree who is older than 200 years. So let's go to Ethiopia together with the Coffee Alliance to see, let's find all trees in Ethiopia, in the coffee plants, who are older than 200 years. We buy it, we push it in the foundation, that the next 300 years, this tree can get old with dignity and nobody will touch him, and the coffee tree protect the big brother. And this big brothers give us the seeds of how to create the next forest. This big brother from the coffee gives us the source, how to cool it down. And of course, we will see, and we are business people, the CO2 as a second currency will pay back everything what we spend today for this big tree. But imagine with the Coffee Alliance, in Ethiopia, every tree, we find it out very easy with the satellites today, every tree over 200 years who stands close to the coffee, we buy it and we protect it for 300 years, then this tree can go slow to grow up and give us the best seeds for the world. So that's my story at the end. And I'm looking really forward to come down end of this month to Italy to learn from the family Lavassa, to learn from you in the whole stuff. And may you can guide us for the next steps. My next step now is crossing the Alps once again, visit you in Turin, see where the friends are doing coffee business there, and see how we can be inspired from your knowledge and can do the best thing.
That's a really great pleasure to be able to spend some time together to both inspire reciprocally. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. No, it's an honor to be connected with you. Thanks to Maria who connected us. And let's see, to play the woman the most important role. I call it 49-51. So I always say in my coffee, where the woman goes, the man follows automatically. So the best coffee for the woman.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Makes sense. To close the session today, I would just love to remind you that if you want to join us and join the Slow Food Coffee Coalition, you can easily go to our site, which is Slow Food Coffee Coalition, and have a look at the manifesto. And if you like it, I'm sure you are, you can sign up and become part of the network, be part of a social network which called Slow Food Connect, which is constantly giving information about the coffee world and our network. I saw some question that asked where we are. Basically, in almost all countries in the world, we have a group in Latin America, in Mexico, in California, in Argentina, in Asia, in Africa, that are talking about the manifesto, that are raising the awareness about coffee. And we sometimes do exchanging between the two continents, for instance. So we are constantly exchange their experience, their expertise, to grow and to better learn what it is in the plate, on the table, let's say. So that's the first thing you can, any one of you can do. But then you can also, for instance, give it to us information about new community. We would love to know more community, to involve them, to give them a free training on the PGS if they like it. Put in contact with roasters, baristas, citizen and non-consumers. So we're definitely open to everyone who wants to join, to absorb information, but mostly and most likely to give to us their information, their idea. We have been thinking a lot of stuff, a lot of idea, but I'm sure there are many outside ideas that we haven't think yet. So we ask you to give your idea, your suggestions. We are really happy to hear you. So I think we can close it in that way. So thanks, Mario.
Thank you.
Thanks, Hans. Thanks, Maria, for having organized that. And I hope to see you soon here in Turin.
Yes.
Maybe next year.
And now, end of month. Watch out, becoming.
Okay, so very good.
28th to 29th of November, the end of month, we plan to come.
Okay, perfect.
You have no time to wait for next year. You have to do it this year.
Perfect.
Okay.
But on the GSPS, maybe we can bring it next year together to Turin and have 2022, the first Global Social Business Summit in Italy, in Turin, on Olympic City, together with you as a coalition, together with the families, together with the Super City Turin, and see how we can make it. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that would be a great opportunity, and really for us it would be an honor to be able to participate, and especially this concept of the social business is really a huge and strong concept that we are pretty much supporting, because it's one way to imagine some future development is really through this type of environment. So most welcome. We really look forward to be all together and spend some very interesting time together for sure. Thank you. Yes, absolutely. Sure. Raising the bar, eh?
Of course, always. A little bit, but that's the sense, a process.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so I would love to also say hi to the audience, to the one that have listened our talk. I hope that can be inspiring a little bit for you. And I repeat, please join us, give to us your experience, your willing, and we have to grow and talk about coffee, because at the end we want to raise the awareness about coffee in the world. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Ciao, Mario.
Ciao,
Hans.
ciao.
Ciao, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.